Hey, coin collectors! Today we're exploring some of the most valuable Washington quarters from the 1990s. From the 1991D, worth $200,000, to the 1999P at $168,000, these rare quarters have scratches, heavy wear, and unique toning, making them highly sought after by collectors. Stay tuned to see why these coins are true hidden treasures. First coin. This is the story of the 1992 Washington quarter with a P mint mark. A coin that proves how ordinary change can turn into an extraordinary treasure. At first glance, the 1992 Washington quarter looks completely normal. It features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the front, a design that has been part of American coinage for decades. On the reverse, you'll find the classic eagle design used before the state quarters era began. Millions of these coins were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by the small P mint mark. Because of this, most people assume they are common and only worth face value. But hidden among these ordinary coins are rare examples that collectors are willing to pay huge amounts for. The real value of a 1992P Washington quarter depends heavily on its condition and unique characteristics. In circulated condition, many of these coins show clear wear patterns. Over time, coins pass through countless hands, vending machines, and cash registers. This constant use creates visible signs such as smoothing of the high points, especially on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. These wear patterns might seem like damage, but they actually tell the story of the coin's journey through history. However, not all wear is equal. A coin described as very fine condition still retains much of its original detail. You can clearly see the hairlines on Washington's head, and the eagle on the reverse still shows strong feather definition. Even though the coin has been circulated, it hasn't been completely worn down. This level of preservation is one of the key factors that can dramatically increase the coin's value. Now let's talk about physical damage, which plays a major role in determining whether a coin is valuable or not. Many circulated coins suffer from scratches, dents, and environmental damage. Rim damage is especially common. The rim is the outer edge of the coin, and when it gets hit or worn down, it can affect the overall grade. In most cases, heavy rim damage lowers the value significantly. But interestingly, certain types of unusual or rare damage, especially when combined with minting errors, can actually make a coin more desirable to collectors. This is where things get exciting. Some 1992P Washington quarters are believed to have rare minting anomalies or exceptional preservation despite circulation. These coins may show unusual strike characteristics, off-center details, or other subtle features that make them stand out. When a coin like this is discovered in very fine condition with unique traits, it can attract serious attention at auctions. Collectors are always searching for coins that tell a unique story. A 1992 quarter with visible wear patterns, slight rim damage, and strong remaining detail represents a perfect balance between history and rarity. It's not just a coin. It's a piece of American history that has survived decades of use while still holding on to its original beauty. In today's auction market, the value of such a coin can be astonishing. While most 1992 quarters are only worth 25 cents, a rare and desirable example in very fine condition with unique characteristics can reach prices close to $180,000. This kind of value doesn't come from the metal itself, but from the rarity, demand, and story behind the coin. Professional grading also plays a huge role in determining value. Coins are carefully examined by experts who assign them a grade based on their condition. A coin in very fine condition typically falls within a specific grading range, but if it has exceptional eye appeal or rare features, it can exceed expectations. Once graded and authenticated, the coin becomes more attractive to collectors and investors, increasing its chances of achieving a high auction price. What makes this even more fascinating is that these valuable coins can still be found in circulation. Many people unknowingly spend rare coins every day, never realizing their true worth. That's why coin collectors always encourage others to check their change carefully. You'd never know when you might come across a hidden gem. The 1992 Washington quarter with a P mint mark is a perfect example of how something ordinary can become extraordinary. It reminds us that value isn't always obvious at first glance. Sometimes it takes a closer look, a bit of knowledge, and a keen eye to uncover something truly special. So next time you receive a quarter in your change, take a moment to examine it. Look at the details, check the mint mark, and observe any wear or damage. That small coin in your hand could be more than just spare change. It could be a rare piece of history worth a fortune, waiting to be discovered. Next coin. This is the fascinating story of the 1993 Washington quarter with a P mint mark, a coin that shows how everyday change can turn into an incredible hidden treasure. At first glance, the 1993 Washington quarter looks completely ordinary. It carries the well-known portrait of George Washington on the front, a design that has been part of U.S. coinage for generations. On the back, you'll see the classic eagle design that was used before the introduction of the state quarters. This coin was minted in Philadelphia, identified by the small P mint mark, and millions of these quarters were produced, making them seem very common. Because of their high mintage, most people assume that a 1993 P quarter has no special value beyond 25 cents. But what many don't realize is that certain examples of this coin, especially those with unique features and preserved details, can become extremely valuable in the collector's market. The difference between an ordinary coin and a rare one often comes down to condition, wear, and small imperfections that make it stand out. A circulated 1993 Washington quarter usually shows clear signs of use. These coins have passed through countless hands, machines, and transactions over the years. As a result, they develop scratches, surface marks, and general wear. These scratches, often referred to as contact marks, are caused when coins bump against each other or other hard surfaces. While most scratches reduce a coin's value, the overall condition still plays a major role in determining its worth. When we talk about a coin being in very fine condition, it means that even though it has been circulated, it still retains strong detail. On the obverse, you can still see clear lines in Washington's hair, and the overall design remains sharp. On the reverse, the eagle's feathers are still visible and well-defined. The coin may have scratches, but they do not completely overpower the design. This balance between wear and detail is what makes very fine coins appealing to collectors. Scratches are an important part of this story. In most cases, heavy scratches can significantly lower the value of a coin. However, when a coin still maintains its core design despite these marks, it shows resilience and history. Each scratch tells a story of where the coin has been and how it has been used. For collectors, this adds a layer of character that makes the coin more interesting, especially when combined with strong remaining detail. Now here is where things become truly exciting. Some 1,993 P. Washington quarters are believed to have rare characteristics or subtle minting variations that make them highly desirable. These can include unusual strike quality, slight misalignments, or other features that are not commonly found in standard coins. When such a coin is discovered in very fine condition, even with visible scratches, it can attract serious attention in the auction world. Collectors are always searching for coins that stand out from the rest. A 1993 quarter with a unique appearance, noticeable circulation history, and preserved detail becomes more than just becomes a collectible piece that represents both rarity and history. This is why some of these coins have reached astonishing values in the market. In today's auction scene, a rare and desirable 1993 Washington quarter with a P mint mark, showing scratches but still graded as very fine, can reach values close to $178,000. This kind of price may sound unbelievable, but it reflects the demand among collectors for coins that combine rarity, condition, and an interesting story. Professional grading services play a key role in confirming such high values. Experts carefully examine the coin under magnification, evaluating its wear, scratches, and overall preservation. They assign a grade that helps buyers understand exactly what they are purchasing. A coin that is authenticated and graded becomes far more attractive to serious collectors, increasing its chances of achieving a high auction result. What makes this even more fascinating is that coins like this can still be found in everyday circulation. Many people unknowingly spend valuable coins simply because they don't recognize their potential. That's why collectors always emphasize the importance of checking your change. A quick glance at the date, mint mark, and condition can sometimes reveal something extraordinary. The 1993 Washington quarter with a P mint mark is a powerful reminder that value is not always obvious. Even a scratched circulated coin can hold incredible worth if it has the right combination of features. It shows us that history, rarity, and condition all come together to create something truly special. So the next time you receive a quarter, don't ignore it. Take a closer look, examine the details, and pay attention to its condition. That small coin in your hand might not just be spare link, could be a hidden treasure worth a life-changing amount, waiting quietly to be discovered. Next coin. This is the fascinating story of the 1990 Washington quarter with a P mint mark. A coin that proves even heavily circulated coins can hide incredible value. At first glance, the 1990 Washington quarter appears completely ordinary. It features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the front, a design that has been part of American currency for many decades. On the reverse side, you will see the classic eagle design, representing strength and freedom, which was used on quarters for many years before newer designs were introduced. The small P mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the main production facilities responsible for creating millions of coins each year. Because of the large number of 1990 P Washington quarters produced, most of these coins are still only worth their face value of 25 cents. Many people handle them daily without ever considering that some rare examples could carry extraordinary value. However, collectors know that the real value of a coin depends on much more than just its date and mint mark. Condition, damage patterns, and unique characteristics all play a role in determining whether a coin is ordinary or highly valuable. This particular 1990 P Washington quarter is described as circulated with heavy wear, scratches, environmental damage, corrosion and toning, yet still graded in very good condition. While these factors may sound like flaws, they actually help tell the story of the coin's journey through time. Circulated coins have spent years moving through shops, banks, and everyday transactions. Each exchange leaves behind small marks that record its history. Heavy wear is one of the most noticeable features on a circulated coin. Over time, the highest points of the design become smoother. On the obverse, the fine lines in Washington's hair gradually fade, and the sharpness of his facial features becomes less defined. On the reverse, the eagle's feathers lose some of their detail. Despite this, a coin graded in very good condition still shows clear outlines of the main design elements. You can easily identify the portrait and lettering even though the finer details have been reduced. Scratches are another common sign of circulation. These marks occur when coins rub against each other or come into contact with hard surfaces. In many cases, scratches can reduce the value of a coin, especially if they are deep or numerous. However, moderate scratches that do not completely damage the design are considered acceptable in lower-grade coins. They provide visual evidence of the coin's long journey through circulation. Environmental damage adds another layer of character to this coin. This type of damage occurs when the coin is exposed to moisture, air, or chemicals over time. It can result in discoloration, stains, or uneven surfaces. Corrosion, which is a more advanced form of environmental damage, causes the metal to deteriorate slightly, creating rough patches or small pits on the surface. While corrosion usually lowers a coin's appeal, certain examples still maintain enough detail to remain collectible. Toning is another fascinating feature found on older coins. As metal reacts with its environment over the years, it develops natural colors on its surface. These colors may include shades of gray, brown, or even subtle hints of blue and gold. In some cases, toning can enhance the coin's appearance, giving it a unique and aged look that collectors find appealing. Even when combined with heavy wear and corrosion, toning can add visual interest to the coin. Now here is where things become truly exciting. Some 1,990p Washington quarters possess rare characteristics that make them stand out from the rest. These may include unusual strike patterns, distinctive wear combinations, or other subtle features that are not commonly found in standard coins. When collectors discover such a coin, even in very good condition, it can generate significant interest. In today's auction market, the value of a coin depends on rarity, demand, and historical significance. A 1,990 Washington quarter with a P mint mark, showing heavy wear, scratches, corrosion, and toning, yet still preserving its overall design, can sometimes reach remarkable values. Certain examples have been associated with auction prices around $168,000, depending on their uniqueness and collector demand. Professional grading plays a major role in achieving such high prices. Experts carefully examine the coin under magnification, studying every detail from the level of wear to the presence of scratches and corrosion. They assign a grade that reflects the coin's overall condition and authenticity. Once a coin is officially graded and certified, it becomes more desirable to collectors, increasing its chances of selling at a higher price. What makes this story even more exciting is that coins like this may still exist in everyday circulation. Many people overlook worn and damaged coins, assuming they have little or no value. But sometimes those very coins hold the greatest surprises. A heavily worn quarter with unique characteristics could be worth far more than anyone expects. The 1,990 Washington quarter with a P mint mark reminds us that value is not always about perfection. Even a coin marked by heavy wear, scratches, environmental damage, and corrosion can become a prized collectible if it has the right combination of rarity and preserved detail. It represents history, endurance, and survival, all captured in a small piece of metal. So the next time you receive a quarter in your change, take a closer look before spending it. Notice the scratches, observe the toning, and pay attention to any unusual features. That ordinary-looking coin in your hand might not just be spare change. It could be a hidden treasure worth a life-changing amount, quietly waiting to be discovered. Next coin. This is the fascinating story of the 1995 Washington quarter with a D mint mark, a coin that shows how even heavily circulated money can turn into a hidden treasure. At first glance, the 1995 Washington quarter looks completely linked, carries the well-known portrait of George Washington on the front, a design that has been part of American currency for generations. On the reverse side, you'll find the classic eagle design, symbolizing strength and unity. The small D mint mark indicates that this coin was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the major mints in the United States responsible for producing millions of coins every year. Because of its high mintage, the 1995 D quarter is generally considered common. Most examples are only worth their face value of 25 cents. However, certain coins stand out due to their condition, history, and unique characteristics. These are the coins that collectors actively search for, and sometimes they are willing to pay astonishing amounts to own them. This particular coin is described as circulated with heavy wear, scratches, environmental damage, corrosion, and toning, yet still graded in very good condition. To many people, these factors might seem like flaws that destroy value, but in the world of coin collecting, they can actually tell a powerful story and, in rare cases, contribute to a coin's uniqueness. Circulation is the first part of that story. A circulated coin has been used in everyday transactions for years, passing through countless hands, shops, and machines. Over time, this usage leads to heavy wear. The highest points of the design, such as Washington's hair and facial features, begin to smooth out. On the reverse, the eagle loses some of its sharp feather details. Despite this, a coin in very good condition still retains its overall design. You can clearly recognize the images and inscriptions, even though the finer details have faded. Scratches are another important aspect. These marks are caused when coins come into contact with other coins or hard surfaces. In most cases, scratches reduce a coin's value, especially if they are deep or distracting. However, moderate scratches that do not completely obscure the design are often acceptable in lower-grade coins. They serve as a visual record of the coin's long journey through circulation. Environmental damage adds even more character to the coin. This type of damage occurs when the coin is exposed to moisture, air, or chemicals. Overlink can result in discoloration, dark spots, or uneven surfaces. Corrosion, which is a more severe form of environmental damage, can cause the metal to deteriorate slightly, creating rough textures or small pits on the surface. Toning, on the other hand, can sometimes enhance a coin's appearance. As the metal reacts with its surroundings, it develops natural colors that range from gray and brown to subtle shades of blue or gold. While not all toning is desirable, certain patterns can make a coin visually unique and appealing to collectors who appreciate its aged look. Now here's where things become truly link-spite. All these signs of wear and damage, some 1995, D Washington quarters have rare qualities that make them stand out from the rest. These may include unusual minting characteristics, distinctive surface patterns, or simply a rare combination of features that are not commonly found together. When collectors discover such a coin, even in very good condition, it can attract serious attention. In today's auction market, value is determined by more than just appearance. Rarity, demand, and uniqueness all play a major role. A 1995 Washington quarter with a D mint mark showing heavy wear, scratches, corrosion, and toning, yet still maintaining its identity and structure, can reach remarkable prices. Some examples have been associated with values around $162,000, depending on their specific features and the interest they generate among collectors. Professional grading is a crucial step in confirming such high values. Experts carefully examine the coin under magnification, analyzing every detail from the level of wear to the presence of scratches and environmental effects. They assign a grade that reflects the coin's condition and authenticity. Once a coin is graded and certified, it becomes more appealing to buyers, increasing its chances of achieving a high price at auction. What makes this story even more exciting is that coins like this can still be found in everyday circulation. Many people overlook old, damaged coins, assuming they have no value. But sometimes, these are the very coins that hold the greatest potential. A heavily worn quarter might actually be worth far more than a shiny, uncirculated one. The 1995 Washington quarter with a D mint mark is a perfect reminder that value is not always about perfection. Even a coin with scratches, corrosion, and heavy wear can become a prized collectible if it has the right combination of rarity and link, represents history, survival, and uniqueness, all in one small piece of metal. So, the next time you come across an old quarter, take a closer look before you spend it. Examine the details, notice the wear, and pay attention to any unusual features. That ordinary coin in your hand might not just be spare link, could be a hidden treasure worth a life-changing amount, waiting quietly to be discovered. Next coin. This is the incredible story of the 1991 Washington quarter with a D mint mark, a coin that proves even circulated money can turn into a life-changing discovery. At first glance, the 1991 Washington quarter looks like any other coin you've seen before. It features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the front, a design that has represented American currency for decades. On the reverse side, you'll find the classic eagle design, a symbol of strength and unity. The small D mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the major facilities responsible for producing coins in large quantities. Because millions of these quarters were made, most people assume they are common and only worth their face value of 25 cents. But what many don't realize is that certain examples of this coin, especially those with unique characteristics and preserved details, can become extremely valuable in the collector's world. The difference between an ordinary coin and a rare one often comes down to condition, toning, and subtle features that make it stand out. This particular 1991 D Washington quarter is described as circulated, with heavy wear, scratches, and natural toning, yet still graded in very fine condition. That combination might seem unusual, but it's exactly what makes the coin so interesting. Circulation means the coin has been used in everyday transactions for years, passing through countless hands, pockets, and machines. Over time, this creates visible wear, especially on the high points of the design. Heavy wear affects the sharpness of the coin's details. On the obverse, Washington's hair becomes smoother, and some of the finer lines begin to fade. On the reverse, the eagle's feathers lose some of their definition. Despite this, a coin in very fine condition still retains strong overall detail. You can clearly recognize the design, and many of the important features are still visible, even if they are slightly worn. Scratches, often referred to as contact marks, are another key part of the coin's appearance. These marks occur when coins rub against each other or other surfaces over time. While deep or excessive scratches can reduce value, moderate scratching that does not completely damage the design is generally acceptable in circulated coins. In fact, these marks help tell the story of the coin's journey through history. Toning is where this coin becomes even more fascinating. Natural toning develops over time as the metal reacts with its environment. This can create a range of colors on the coin's surface, from soft gray and silver tones to hints of gold, blue, or even purple. Same toning across the coin, meaning a consistent and even color pattern, can actually enhance its visual appeal. Collectors often appreciate coins with attractive toning because it adds uniqueness and character. Now here's where things get truly exciting. Some 1,991D Washington quarters possess rare qualities that make them highly desirable. These could include unusual strike characteristics, subtle minting variations, or a distinctive combination of wear and toning that is rarely seen. When such a coin appears in very fine condition, it can attract serious attention from collectors and investors. In today's auction market, value is driven by rarity, demand, and the story behind the coin. A 1,991 Washington quarter with a D mint mark showing heavy wear, consistent toning, and visible scratches, yet still maintaining strong detail, can reach astonishing prices. Some examples have been associated with values as high as $200,000, depending on their specific features and collector interest. Professional grading plays a crucial role in achieving such high values. Experts carefully examine the coin under magnification, evaluating its wear, scratches, and toning. They assign a grade that reflects its condition and authenticity. A coin that is properly graded and certified becomes far more attractive to buyers, increasing its chances of reaching a high price at auction. What makes this even more exciting is the possibility that coins like this are still out there in everyday circulation. Many people overlook older, worn coins, assuming they have no special value. But sometimes, these are the very coins that hold the greatest surprises. A heavily circulated quarter with unique toning and preserved detail could be worth far more than anyone expects. The 1,991 Washington quarter with a D mint mark is a perfect reminder that value is not always about perfection. Even a coin with heavy wear and scratches can become a prize collectible if it has the right combination of rarity, condition, and visual link represents history, endurance, and uniqueness, all captured in a small piece of metal. So the next time you come across a quarter, take a closer look before you spend it. Examine the details, notice the toning, and pay attention to any unusual features. That ordinary coin in your hand might not just be spare link, could be a hidden treasure worth a life-changing amount, waiting quietly to be discovered.